Hi everyone. So today we are going to set up Google Gemini into a Java based project. So this integration can be done with your Selenium WebDriver based project as well if you are using Java as your programming language. So I will just quickly go and create a new project. So ignore this one. So I've already tried to set it up once so that I can give this demo. Right. So once you click on the create a new project, then you can click on this create from archetype, and then we will select this quick start archetype, then click on next, and let's just type it like Gen AI demo. Okay, and then let's click on next again. Let it be on the default settings for now, and let's click on finish, and then we'll select this window. So currently it's trying to reload, right? So until it sets the settings, right, I'll just quickly open my browser now. As you can see on the browser screen, I have already created one project. So if you are creating a new project, then you just need to go to Google Cloud Console, search for this, and then once you search for it, then go to the second link, Google Cloud Platform. And once you go to this link, then if you have already created one project, then you will find your existing projects. Otherwise, you need to create a new project. And second thing is, if sometimes, like for some people I have seen, you need to add your billing details. So billing detail basically means you need to add your card details to set up or start the usage of APIs into your projects. Okay. So for my account, I already had some free credits, and so that's why I don't need to add any paid details, but still I added the card details. Then only those credits converted to actually the ones which I can use. Okay. So now it depends. So just validate that once before you start using the APIs, because if you enable APIs, you will not be able to use them until you add the card details. Okay. As you can see, if you just click on this project, okay, then you will see whatever different projects you have, and you can just go and click on this new project to create a new one. So currently I am not creating any new project. I will just go with my existing one. Okay. So this is the one. And once you see that one, then first thing that we need to do is like we need to search for Vertex AI. So Gemini, if we want to use Gemini into our projects, right, then we need to use Vertex AI, and Vertex AI will basically help us to enable AI integration, or more specifically say Gen AI integration into our projects. Okay. As you can see on the first link, you just go and click on this one. So it will take some time. So this is what the introduction window looks like. Okay. So we need to just go to this free form on the left side, and then we can see this is basically a prompt window. So you can set up your prompts over here to validate like how the model functions. Okay. And on the right side you see the model name and the region. So this location will be required when we integrate Gemini, or you can say Vertex, into our Java code base. Okay. So remember this one, and we need to also use the model. So if you want to change the model, then obviously you can scroll down from here and check out different models. Currently I am using the default one. Then the temperature, so basically the lower temperature means the lower the temperature, the correct responses will be used. Okay, will appear in your output. And if you keep the temperature high, then it might hallucinate more. Okay, so that is what it is. And then output token limit, so basically there is a character limit that can be generated in each output. Okay, so that character limit is basically judged by this output token limit. And then you can also change this text format to JSON if you want. And grounding basically means like suppose Gen AI LLM models are trained on specific set of data. Now if we want to change that set of data, suppose for example like we need to perform a live Google search. Okay, so we can enable this. Then whenever you send a prompt, so second thing, like it will obviously refer to the existing data set that it has, and it also search the data. So basically you will get the live information. Okay, the present data. Okay, so that is what it is. So currently I'm not going to use this as a feature, so I'm just using a basic things only, so that's why I'm not enabling it. But if you want, you can enable this as well. So I'll just type out a prompt. What is average temperature in Hyderabad, India? Okay, let's just send this. And you can also change your prompt if you want from here, like you can remove the markdown format. And this is what it looks like. So it has given me the winter, summer, monsoon, and annual average temperature. So this is fine. And the number of tokens that I've sent is total 9 tokens. Okay, so this is how the response looks like. So this is what the basic thing is. Now if you want to start coding, okay, so we need to click on this get code on the right side. Once you click on it, then you will see the Python and curl code setup. Now if you're using Java, right, so we need to click on this SDK reference. Once we click on it, then you will see on the left side we have the Java programming language. Just click on it and it will take us to the official documentation, GitHub documentation of Google APIs that supports our Java based projects. Okay, so just to give you a glimpse of it, like we need to add this dependency into our obviously Maven pom.xml file, and then we need to add this Google API key, Google Cloud project. So project name basically means like the project name that we see over here, right? So we need to add this project ID, and then we need to add Google Cloud location. So this location that we saw, so this is the region. So we need to add this US hyphen central one. So if you change the location to something else, then you need to update that to that specific location. And then Google API key. So I will show you like how we need to set up the Google API key using Google Cloud Console in some time. So you don't need to worry about that one. And then once we scroll down, then you can see the basic code setup. Okay, so we need to obviously create a Google client. So this client will be created using client .builder.api key. Okay, so we will see how we need to set up the API key, because it's not a good practice to set up API key directly into our project, but this is a demo project, so we can still do it. Okay, but still I will use a different technique, so we will discuss that one. So this is what the basic code looks like over here. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so this is what the basic code looks like. So we are setting up the client model to use this particular model, and then we are sending a prompt, and then we are just outputting the whatever the response we get. So generate content response, so it will store the response, and then we are just outputting it in our console. Okay, so this is what the basic code setup looks like. So now let's just go and integrate our dependency into, copy this, go to Java project, and then let's just go to pom.xml file. Don't ask again. Okay, so I'm just going to add the dependency for now. So you can see this is the dependencies tag, and I will just go and add it over here. I'm not changing anything that is set in the default pom.xml currently. Okay, I'm just go to and reload the project for now and let it run, and it is still resolving the dependency. So let it run, no worries. And we need to add another dependency. So what I'll do, I'll just go and Google search for like Google Vertex AI MVN repository. So this is another one that if you want to use Vertex AI directly into our Java projects, then we need to add this dependency. So once you search it in Maven repository, then just go to the latest version that we see and copy it. Okay, so I'll just scroll down a little bit and paste it over here, and I will just go and reload the project for now. So it is resolving dependencies. So now until it does that, then we can just go to the project again. Okay, let's just enable certain APIs that we need to do. So search for Vertex AI again, and let it click on continue. So once we click on it, then you can see this Vertex AI API. Just click on it, and we need to enable this API. Okay, for me it might be enabled already. Let me just see. Yeah, so it's enabled. It says manage. For you it will say enable. Okay, so just click on it and enable the API, and then once you enable it, then we can go back and search for Gemini API. Okay, when you search for Gemini, then we need to click on this first result, that is Gemini API, and you need to click on this and enable this as well. For me it is already enabled, that's why it says manage. So this is what basic thing looks like. And if you still like when you try to run the program, and if you still get any errors, then you can definitely comment down in this video, so I'll help you like if you get any errors, because for me when I enabled these two APIs it was working fine for me. But if you get any errors, then please comment down in this video, I will help you out. So now to get the API key, we need to go to this hamburger menu on the left side and click on this API and web services, then go to credentials. Okay, and then you can see the API key that I have already created. So for you, you need, if you don't find any existing API keys, obviously if you have a new project, then you need to go and click on this create credentials and click on this API key. And once you click on this, then you will get a new API key, and you just need to copy it and add it to your project. So I'll show you how you need to do that. I'm not creating any new one because I already have one. Okay, and you do not need to copy this API key, because once I end this video, I will delete this API key, so you cannot use it anymore. So now let's just go back to our code base. So what I'll do, I'll go to my source test, app test, and remove any existing code that I have. Okay, go back to the GitHub repository that they had and copy this variable name. Go back to the IDE. So first let's create a new function, that is public static void main. Okay, and once you create it, then just right click on the project. You will see this modifier and configuration. So if you are using Intellij, you need to go and click on this modifier and configuration, and you will see this option of environment variables. If you don't get this option, then just go and click on this modify options, and you need to enable this checkbox. Okay, so you should have the tick mark in front of it to get this field. Okay, now just paste your Google API key variable name over here and add your API key. Okay, so I'll just go back to the project again. I'll open my API key. I'll copy this, close, go back to my project, add it, and then end the statement with a terminator. Apply and okay. Okay, so we have added our API key successfully now. So let's just go back to the browser again, go to the GitHub again, and let's quickly copy the code that we need to use to set up the client and get our first response. Copy this code, go back to the IDE. So I've already explained this code, so I'm not doing that again. So let's import the statements first. So we need to get it from Gemini, that is correct. And this one also from Gemini, that is also correct. Okay. We need to add some exception, that is fine. Close this. Okay, so now I think the code should work without any issues. So instead of what is your name, I'll type the same thing. What is the average temperature in Hyderabad, India? Okay, so now whatever the response it gets, it will print it in the console as we discussed. Okay, so let's run this quickly and see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting this error. Let me resolve this and come back to the video. So I basically had an issue with the source release version of Java. So I'm using Java JDK version 17. So basically I went to my pom.xml and I added this plugin. And another thing which I added is like when I go to this file section and go to this project structure, and now over here you can see that I have the different SDKs available. So I'm using 17, but it was selected 1.8. So I went and changed it to 17 and then I applied and okay. So then it fixed the error. Okay, now let's just go and check out and run our code again and let's see what happens. So probably now it should generate the output. You can see it is running and it will generate the entire output in one go. Okay, and you can see the entire output, annual average, then summer, monsoon, and winter. Okay, so you can see this one. And another way which we can use to generate the response is in a way the web browser client of Gemini generates the response. If you see, if we use Gemini in our browser, right, so it thinks and then generates the output, then again thinks and generates the output. So one by one it will generate it, okay, as per the thinking mechanism. Over here it just go and went and generated the output in one go. So if you want to use that thinking mechanism, although it does not change anything much in terms of the response that we get, but still if you want to use it, then what we can do, we can just go and add it. So basically instead of generate content response, we need to use response stream. Okay, so I'll just quickly scroll down and you can see this generate content stream. So over here you can see this response stream. So I'll just copy this quickly and I'll go back to my code again. So you will find this entire code in GitHub repository. So I will link that repository in the video description so you can check it out. No worries in that. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly comment this piece of code and I will add it below by commenting content, or you can say generate content stream. Okay, and add the code. So once we add it, then we need to obviously import the statements. So let's just do that And before this, like instead of this one, I will add my existing prompt to showcase like how it differs. Okay, copy this and paste it over here, and you can see rest of the code. It uses response stream over here, and then we are just appending it in system.out.println, and then we are using a for each loop to whatever the response we get, we are just printing it in the console one by one by using for each loop, and then we are closing the stream. Okay, so this is a good practice, we need to do that, as it also mentions to save resources and avoid connection leaks. Okay, so we need to use this. Now let's try to run this and see what happens. Okay, so it is working, that is fine, good. You can just, yeah, so that is how it looks. So it generated a response one by one, and the response is slightly different. If you see, now it has added this post monsoon temperature as well. So that is what it is. So if you want to use streaming response, then definitely you can use this one. So this was pretty much thing that I wanted to showcase in terms of streaming the response. Now what I'll do, I'll create another class and I'll show you like how we can summarize a HTML test execution report quickly using Gen AI. So I'll keep the class name as summarize HTML report. Okay, and I'll not end it. Go back, add my public static void main function. I know the shortcut although, but still I like to type, so that's why I'm doing that. I'll just go back to the browser again, and if you do not have any HTML report currently with you, then what I'll suggest is like quickly go to my repository. So search for Japneet Sachdeva GitHub. Okay, and you can see like probably this is my repository. Yeah, so this is my account, and you can just go and click on this Selenium framework. Okay, all the repositories have the report section like this, so you can download the report from anywhere. And just let's just go to the latest one. Okay, open this one, and you can just go and download this file. Okay, to test the summarization. Okay, so let's just download this for now, and the repo is downloaded, no worries in that. So now what I'll do, I'll just quickly open the folder, copy it, go back to my project, create a new directory, name it as reports, and I'll paste it here. Okay, now this is the report that we need to use definitely. Now what I'll do, I'll just quickly go back to the browser, and we need to download one file. Okay, so that file we need to find. So you just go to hamburger menu again, and you will go to IAM and admin section, and just go and click on this IAM. Okay, so over here we need to create a service account, because it will help us to use Google authentication. Suppose like there are two ways now. So if you want to use Google CLI, so you can download it and set it up in your machine, and I am not using that one. So if you want, you can do it, but if you want to download it, then just go and search for Google Cloud CLI. Okay, yeah, so this is the one. Now to set up in your Windows machine, we need to use this one. So earlier I set it up in Mac OS. Okay, so this one it is. Now if you want to, now if you are not using Google Cloud CLI, then you need to create one new service account. So basically I already have one service account. You can see this by hovering over here, and this is the user account. Okay, so now if you want to create a service account, just go and click on this left side service accounts, and over here you will get the option to create a service account. Okay, so once you create a service account, then you will get to download this file. Okay, so now we need to download a JSON file. So that consists of our credentials that we need to send when we are making a request to summarize the report. Okay, the user is making to the Gen AI model is actually a valid user, so we need to authenticate for that. So that's why we need to have that authentication first. So if once you click on the service account, you need to go to this keys tab, and you will see this active key. Okay, and then basically I already have this one in my machine. To show you, like I am downloading it again. So add a key, create a new key, and click on this JSON format. Okay, and click on create. So it will create a file and it will be downloaded. Okay, so let it download, and you can see the file is downloaded for now. Okay, so you can see the creation date 6 March and 7 March. So if you want to delete, you can delete it. I'm not doing it anything for now. Okay, so this file now we need to add it into our environment variables, or else you can do it through modify run configuration that I did. Okay, once we are on the project, let's write the code first. Okay, so now there are different ways to append or create the variables. Okay, so we need to have a project id, we need to have a location, we need to have a model name. Okay, so these three things should be present in your environment variables or in your run configuration, or we can send it explicitly by mentioning it in our code directly. Okay, so what you can do, you can just create string variables and you can mention project id. Okay, I will add my project id, just give me a second. String location. Okay, and once you do that, then we need to create another variable that is for model name, and then close this. And if we go back to the browser again, we'll go to this Vertex AI option, this one, and let's just search for Vertex AI again, and click on this first option, and you can see, and let's just go to free form again, and you can see the model name and the region. Okay, so let's just quickly copy this. So we need to just have this US Central 1 part. We don't need to add Iowa for now. Okay, and let's go back to our location variable and add it, and then let's just add this model name as well. Go back, add it over here, and then project ID. So you can just go and click on your project name over here and copy this ID. Okay, so I'm using this one. So the one which you see with the tick mark, right? So that is your current project, and you just need to copy this ID. It is showing 3 projects for me. It might be only one for you. Okay, add it over here. Another way which we can do is like we can just go and directly enter it in a modifier and configuration and add it in the environment variables, or else you can directly append it in your environment variables that you see in advanced system properties in Windows. Okay, and in Mac OS you can directly export those variables through command line. So that is quite easy. And now once we do that, just Vertex AI equal to new Vertex AI. Okay, and when we need to send a project ID, so if you're using this piece of code, then obviously we need to send our project ID over here. Okay, so let's just type it project ID comma location and close this. Okay, so this is the Vertex AI module that we need to have. And then if you have the HTML file with you, then or any other file which you want to use, HTML, PDF, document, so the Gen AI, this Gemini Vertex AI can summarize all the document types. Okay, so currently I'm just giving you a demo for HTML test execution report. Then you need to enter the path over here. So I'll just go to my project again, click on reports, click on this report, go to copy path reference, copy the absolute path, add it over here. Okay, so that is what it looks like. And then let's just add a generative model. Okay, model equal to new generative model, and in this we need to send our model name and then our Vertex AI object. Okay, and with this we need to also create another variable in which we will send our HTML content. In your case it might be a PDF content or document, so we need to add it in here, string, and then type out our file. So obviously we need to use the default Java input file stream, and we need to read all the bytes, and with this we need to add our path as well, dot get, and then we need to append our HTML file path. Okay, and this might give us an error because it will ask us to add the exception, so we are adding it, no worries, IO exception, or else you can add it with your try catch block as well, no worries. And let's just go back and create a prompt. Okay, string prompt, and then I'll type out the basic text. You are a helpful, should contain only total number of test case executed new line, and then add total number of scenarios or test cases passed and failed. Okay, so if we want, obviously we can add more details into it. So currently I'm just doing the basic stuff, and then once we do that, then we need to have our new line and then just append the text. Okay, and text is in the form of HTML content. Let's just close this for now, and let's create and finally send our content to the Gen AI model. So we need to have a content type, import it from Vertex API, and then dot new builder, and then we need to add our parts. Okay, so one by one we will be adding the parts. So you can see the parts option with the new builder, and then we need to set our prompt. Okay, so we need to use set text for that, and to send the prompt with this we need to also send the role, because the Gen AI model needs to understand whether this is a user role or this is a model role. Okay, depending upon that it will generate the output. So currently we are in the user mode because we are expecting the send to the input, and then we are expecting an output. We are not going to wait for the final output, okay, like for 2-3 minutes. So we need to set it to user for now. Okay, and then we are just building it. With this we need to also make sure to generate the response and store it. Okay, so we already have gone through this one. So instead of request we will keep it to response. Okay, and then response, and then just go and type model dot generate content, and content will be our the content that we set over here. Okay, so now this variable will basically hold my final response that came through the Gen AI model, and now we need to just output it. Okay, and then we can say summary, and we can keep it in the new line for now if you want, and then if you want we can just add the response dot to string. It's a good practice to add it to string, and then we need to finally close the Vertex AI stream. Okay, so this is what the code looks like for now. And before this, if you haven't added your JSON file which we downloaded, I would recommend you to go and click on this modify run configuration, or else you can directly add it in over here as well. Okay, so just go to modify run configuration. Run configuration, we need to type the variable name, that is Google underscore application underscore credentials, and then we need to get our file. So I've downloaded inside my downloads folder. Just go and create a new directory, keep it like credentials. Okay, paste it over here. So obviously we can add this file inside our git ignore. Okay, so that the credentials are not pushed to the GitHub repository, because each user might have a different credential for authenticating on Google CLI. Okay, so it depends. Ignore file. Okay, so that your credential are not pushed to the actual GitHub repository that you guys are using. Okay, so you don't need to worry about this. I will delete this JSON key once I end this video. Okay, so this is added now, and what I'll do, I'll just quickly open this file and copy the path reference. So basically what I did, I have added the path in my modify and configuration, and if you open you click on this icon, right, so you can just directly go to the set of variables that we have. So I've copied the path of the file from the content root. Okay, so basically this is the project structure. We do not need to copy the absolute path obviously, so we can copy the content root path and we can paste it over here. Just click on OK, and make sure that you end the statement with a terminator at the end, and you click on apply and OK. So once we do that, meanwhile what I'll do, I'll just quickly open the browser and the report which I've appended. So this was the report. So you can see the total number of tests are 5, and 4 were passed and 1 was failed. So we expect that the summary will contain this information in short form. So let's try to quickly run this program and let's see what happens. So once the program runs, right, so you can see the summary. Here is a summary, summary of the test results in the requested format. Total 5 test cases were executed, 4 test cases passed and 1 failed. So this looks like a good summary to me because it is short and concise. So obviously there are a lot more different ways that we can utilize Gen AI, or more specifically say Vertex AI, into our Java based projects. So this was a quick demo that I wanted to showcase. Like if you want more such videos to have some real time, more experience towards AI, then please comment down this video. So if you learn something new, then definitely try to create a project around this and share it. Then I will repost it in my network. Definitely you will also get more audience to look at. So I hope this video was useful, and if you like more such videos, then consider subscribing as well. Let's meet in the next video. Bye bye, take care.